Hello, folks. I'm going to talk about a little program called stgit or stgit, which is a system for managing a stack of patches on top of Git. Now, although you can kind of do everything that stgit does with Git all by itself, stgit does a lot of bookkeeping and lets you not have to keep many things in your head that Git requires you to keep in your head. It lets you keep a lot of balls in the air all at once without losing your mind. Um, and I think not enough people know about this program. Or anyway, I'm just going to demo it. I'm going to start by writing a little program that does kind of Newton's second law, F equals ma. Right now, we start with a hello world program. Doesn't really do much at the beginning. Let's start by creating a branch. And then we initialize a branch for stgit, stg-init. We can see what patches we have, which should be none at the beginning since we just initialized. We do stg series. We have no patches in our series. So let's create a patch. So this, what I'm typing right here, is the essentially git commit message for this patch. So we have one patch, which is empty. So we can say, all right, we're going to do Newton's second law, F equals ma. Excel float mass equal get mass. Now this is not, this code is a little weird. It's just a demo, so. All right. And we can go implement these functions, static. We got some warnings about unused parameters. That's okay. STG refresh incorporates our changes into the patch. STG show, we can see what changes we made. And we have our first patch. Okay, so let's proceed with our implementation. I'm going to make a second patch. So worry too much about the error path for this thing. It's not important for what we're demoing. I'll use scanf to convert the float. Okay, and there we implemented our get Excel to read a string from standard in, convert it to a float, and return the float. What's it complaining about? Okay. Now we can do the next step, which is to implement get mass. And we can just copy paste. And there we go. Implement calculate force. And there we go. Now, I copy pasted a lot of code in the get Excel and get mass functions. So maybe we want to factor that common code out. We could do this. Then we could say actually there we go. But this series basically there's a mistake that we copied pasted that code when we should have factored it out, and so we copy pasted it, and then later we factor it out. Instead, we could say we could go to this patch, and it popped all these 3 patches off, and now we're at this patch. So we could say stgedit, or edit our code, and we could say, all right, now that we realize we should have factored this out, we could have said float Okay, and then we can push the next patch. And now we have this, but we want to use this get float function that we just created, so we can delete that. And there we are. And that way, we don't need this patch anymore. It instead looks like when we wrote this one, we had the foresight to factor it out immediately. So it's easy with stacked git to sort of make it look like you know what the hell you're doing, even if maybe you don't quite know what the hell you're doing. So that's nice. You can export your patches to a directory, -d. And it puts each patch into a file, and there's a series patch that shows the order that they go in. Now, if I check out our master branch, and I make a new branch, I'll call it P2 for no reason. I can say stg import -s for series. And then we have our patches back into stget on this branch. If I want to merge the patches to master, there they are. Let's see. Another thing that's kind of cool is like if it say you're debugging, you can say stgnew debug, and then you can do all kinds of, printfs, whatever, make whatever changes you want without worrying about it. And then um, put all your debug code in there. And then when you find the bug and you get it fixed, you can just stg pop and all those debug things are gone. So that's pretty convenient. What else? What it really is nice, it really helps you keep each commit down to a single logical change, and also easily, so that you're not, like, if you're just using Git by itself, it's very tempting to commingle changes that don't really belong in that commit into it anyway, just because it's inconvenient not to. Whereas with stacked Git, it becomes convenient to do that. You just, if you need to add some stuff, you just create a new patch, and you can, you can pop, let's say I want to pop off 3 patches, and create a new patch here. To do something, and then I can push all the patches on. It becomes really convenient to keep these things separated. And it helps you keep your commit history clean and Git bisectable. So if you come across a bug and you need to Git bisect, your commit history is really nice for bisecting. So I really like this program. There's probably other ways to do this, but I think this program needs to be more well known. And it's you can probably just apt-get install stgit and be off and running. Anyway, I thought it was something that needs some more visibility.